And we're starting out in the Pantheon. This is the best preserved building from ancient Rome. It dates back to the 2nd century, and it still has its original roof intact. It's an amazing dome up there, and these are the original bronze doors that were put in when the Pantheon was constructed, starting from about 118 AD. And out in front, there's the Piazza della Rotonda, and then on to an ice cream snack already. This is the first day of our tour, and we are hungry for some gelato.
That's looking good.
And one of the fine places to enjoy this great Italian ice cream is at Giolitti.
Sabaglione. Don't even know what it is.
They've got lots of flavors here, and one of the fun ways to approach that is to get some kind of flavor you're not familiar with. It's all in Italian, so it's a little confusing, but it's delicious. This gelato is served at a softer than American ice cream, so the flavor really comes through. We're continuing our walk on this first evening through this newly renovated Galleria in the heart of Rome, right on the Via del Corso, onto the Trevi Fountain. And you've got to toss your coin, make your wish that you'll come back to Rome, and toss another coin for a second wish.
Sure, okay.
This is the most famous of all the fountains in Rome. One of the most famous fountains in the world, certainly. It was made famous in a couple of movies, La Dolce Vita and 3 Coins in the Fountain. Continuing walking along in this central part of Rome, we're going to walk from Trevi on over towards the Spanish Steps, having a look at this Borromini Dome on Sant'Andrea della Frate, and to one of our favorite restaurants in the city, La Rampa. This place has the most incredible buffet spread, and it only costs about $11, $12 for all you can eat on one plate. You just get one crack at it, and you can really pile it on there if you know what you're doing. Or you can order off the menu. Of course, they have a big range of fish and meats and pastas and risottos and the normal range of Italian foods that you'll find in any good restaurant. But a good way to deal with La Rampa is just do the buffet. And then we continue walking in the evening back towards our hotel. Rome at night is very interesting. It's colorful, it's lively, it's totally safe.
What'd you get, chestnuts?
Yeah.
Wow.
The shops are mostly closed, but you can do a little window shopping along the way, and there's lots of people out sitting at the cafes.
To the left.
On this trip, we're traveling during the month of June, so there's lots of outdoor dining going on. And you'll see lots of dining in World Traveler always. Here's another meal. This is breakfast the next day at our Hotel Tiziano. But it's always nice to get together in the morning and have breakfast, talk about the day's activities, and then carry on with our morning walking tour. Our local guide is going to take us on a stroll for a couple of hours in this neighborhood, the historic neighborhood all around by the hotel area. We're staying just 2 blocks away from the Campo dei Fiori and the Piazza Farnese. And there are old buildings all around that we learn about from our guide. This is a fountain that was over at the Baths of Caracalla. And then on to a couple of churches. Here we are in San Carlo ai Catinari, typical of the Baroque churches of Rome from the 17th and 18th century. Rome has got about 500 churches, so that's always part of your experience in Rome, is to go inside and check them out. Here's Sant'Andrea della Valle with the second highest dome in the city after St. Peter's. And inside the church, it's a chance to look at these incredible artworks on display. Back in the Middle Ages and on through the Renaissance and the Baroque, the church was all powerful in Rome and throughout Italy, and was the great patron of the artists. In the ancient days, we have the Teatro de Marcello. This looks like the Roman Colosseum, but it's not. We're coming to the Colosseum shortly in the program. This is an ancient Roman amphitheater. It's about 2,000 years old, and today there's apartments that are on top of it. It's been renovated, and these are some of the most expensive apartments in the city. It's a chance for us to grab a few group shots with such a beautiful backdrop, and you see fragments of an old column there on the right side. That's from the Forum, which is just nearby, right around the corner where we're heading next with our Hawaii group, and carry on crossing the busy street over to the Capitoline Hill, from which we get this splendid view looking out across the clay tile rooftops of the city. And looking in the other direction into the ancient Roman Forum. Walk down this little side path. It's a nice little forested, shady path that will bring us into the Forum through the back door. Nowadays, the Forum is free and open to the public at no charge from sunrise till sunset. In the ancient days, the Forum, our guide is telling us, was the great gathering place of the city. There's some original buildings still here, and a lot of fragments and columns and arches. It was like a combined shopping center, political gathering spot, courthouse, and religious center all in one. It was covered over and forgotten about during the Middle Ages and even the Renaissance by dirt blowing in, but in the last century it's been uncovered. A lot of archaeological excavations have been conducted here, so it's really quite an important site that you must see when you're in Rome, including the Arch of Titus, built by the Emperor Titus after he sacked Jerusalem, and then on to the greatest standing building from ancient Rome, the Roman Colosseum. It's not as well preserved as the Pantheon, but it certainly is huge. And another nice backdrop for our group shot of our Hawaii travelers. We're looking at what's left of the Colosseum, kind of the bones of the building. It had been a stadium that would seat as many as 60,000 people. From the Colosseum, we hop on the Roman metro, get a little entertainment from some of the urchins here on board the train, give them a little tip to keep them going. And the metro will soon bring us across town. Rome doesn't have a big subway system, but it's a pretty handy one if you're going from the Colosseum over to the Vatican, as we are today. And it takes you there with a change of trains at the Termini station.